What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited to bring you guys another video on my Must Have Must Gag series. This is my series I created inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series. I always have her series and the community playlist linked down below, as well as all the Instagram pages I follow to get all of this makeup knowledge. And lastly, but certainly not least, I always have all of the items listed and linked down below. If you follow a link down below and there's an asterisk behind it, that means that it's an affiliated code, which means I will get a small commission. Otherwise, if you do not wish to purchase throughout that link, absolutely no big deal at all. I'm just happy that you're here to talk new makeup with me and also watch me get my face together, you know? So today I did this look, of course. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying sitting down and doing these kind of, I'm gonna do my makeup while talking about new releases. I will say this is going to be the last video in this context this year. As long as everything works out, the next 2 Mondays I will be doing a different type of new makeup releases, which I'm very excited about. Hopefully it's something that you guys are excited about seeing once I've shown it. And yeah, with that said, let's just get into the video. Okay guys, so we are gonna cross our fingers that my mic continues to record. As of right now, it is recording, but it was recording at the beginning of this video attempt yesterday as well. So what I'm gonna do is just the same exact look that I filmed in yesterday's video, just because why not? I didn't have time, or I didn't refilm that look, and why not show it to you guys? So I actually have to find a primer because yesterday I forgot to use a primer, but let's do this. I'm a bit disheveled, if you couldn't tell. Just got home from work and I wanted to film. I wanted to relax after doing schoolwork and all of that jazz. Anyways, first thing that I did actually use yesterday was this hydrating serum mist. This is from Tony Moly. I believe I got this from Beautylish. I honestly don't know. I will have everything listed and linked down below per usual. And yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right on into the products. Like I said, I did refilm this yesterday initially, so my impressions and kind of my interpretations on these products may be a little bit more cut and dry than yesterday, just because I've already filmed it. I've already filmed it once. I've already kind of come to my conclusion on all of these products, but I still did want to do this video today. So first things first, Catrice has come out with a limited edition About Tonight collection, and this showcases some metallic lipsticks, a highlighter palette that looks to have 4 shades, a metallic eyeshadow palette, and some glitter nail foils, which are basically like sheets of paper, kind of, or sheets of nail polish that are kind of pre-designed, pre-done, and you just kind of mold them to your nail and then kind of cut or whatever you need to do to remove the rest of them. Sometimes you can like clip off the excess as well. So none of this stuff is really screaming to me. I also find that generally I just don't particularly enjoy drugstore makeup. It's just a personal preference. I'm really like my main love of makeup is indie. It really is. I just love the concept of somebody taking the time to create something at their home and see it come to life, into fruition, and then of course me getting it. I didn't plug in my tree or turn on my backlight. Let me do that. There are so many additional steps for me to do before I can actually sit down now. So yeah, that's why I love indie. That's why I honestly don't get a lot of use out of drugstore, which is kind of weird because I do still purchase like high end and luxury. I don't know. There's just something about drugstore that just never really tickles my pickle in a majority of the time. And this is just not something that I'm interested in. So I'm personally going to pass, but I would love to hear if you're interested. And also, you know, hopefully there is somebody out there that will review this collection for those who are interested and don't know if it's worth it to spend their money on it. A new brand to me is Edge, and the full name is Edge Beauty. So they are coming out with lip oils, or I'm sorry, lip glosses. It's 8 different shades. There are some unique shades, although because I've seen the swatches, they don't look super pigmented, at least not on the model's lips. And they do have a darker model swatches, and I wouldn't say that their lips are like super pigmented, but there's enough pigment on their lips to tell that like this product isn't super opaque and like, you know, one dimensional or whatever. Anyways, I think that this looks nice. I definitely have a lot of glosses, and I have a lot of like lip balms that I've been really getting into, as I feel like a lot of people in the makeup industry have. I definitely can see the industry kind of going away from that a little bit, in the sense that more people are starting to do full beats of makeup, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy, but it's definitely been some time since TikTok came around that like a lot of people have really been doing more of the fast makeup and all of that jazz. So it'll be really interesting to see, you know, how the industry goes. That said, when it comes to this particular release, I'm just not in the market or really all that interested in trying a new brand right now. I'm really just wanting to continue to explore my actual collection of makeup that I've already picked up, but also just explore the brands that I already know and love, and just kind of continue to get more use out of not only the products that I've already bought, but also get more experience with certain brands that I truly enjoy. That way I can do more of those kind of full on reviews like I did earlier this month, if not late last week with Merit. I feel like that was a very kind of thorough review, because I had all of those products for months, if not a little over a year. And so I was just able to really give my full opinions on pretty much every product that the brand has released. And I really like doing that. And I feel like that's a really big reason why I came onto this platform, because I do like trying new things, don't get me wrong, but I also find that once I get my opinions are pretty set, and I'm pretty good at like expressing my perspective on certain products once I've gotten that opinion. So anyways, long story short, for me, these are just not going to be products that I need to bring into my collection right now. It looks like we have some more lip products coming in, this time from Milani, and it's interesting. I personally don't particularly want these though. Let me tell you guys what they are though. These are some lip stains. It looks like they're coming out with about 6 different shades. These do have what I would consider more of the traditional kind of shades though. They have the reds, they have the oranges, and slight pinks. This is a type of product that for me, I will traditionally just go to a K-beauty type brand. And I do that because this is where I feel like this type of product originated. It really originated there. It had been in those respective markets for years. And I do mean years, if not honestly decades, before it really came into the Western market kind of thought process. And you know, now brands are doing it, and I completely understand why they're doing it. It's definitely become more of something that their constituency has requested. But at the same time, to me, why go to somebody who is just now kind of figuring it out when you could go to a brand and an industry that has been doing it for years, that has the product down pat and all of that stuff? I will say it is hard to find kind of these lip stains in shades that I particularly will reach for. As you guys know, I pretty much am only really reaching for like brown lip colors. So that's been a trick, and I think I found a lip product during Black Friday. I just need to test it out and of course give you guys a review, and I'm really excited and hopeful that that product will be kind of a good enough version for me to kind of feel complete in that type of product. But yeah, as for Milani, personally for me, I'm gonna stick with kind of some of the more OGs, like Romand, stuff like that that I found on Yes Style and not particularly purchased from this brand. But I know there's gonna be so many people that pick these up, and I genuinely can't wait to hear their opinions, hear their, you know, praise and or critiques, and I hope that those who pick it up, it actually works for them. So keeping it going, next we have CXC Beauty. So this is the brand created by Angelica Nyquist. Wow, that her last name really did not want to come out of my mouth. So as of right now, she only has brushes. Originally, she came out with, I want to say 5 eye brushes, which are really nice. I have a set and I do thoroughly enjoy that set. And now she's coming out with a face set that you can also get individually. And she also is coming out with 2 additional eye brushes. I really like the concept of this release. I really enjoy her brushes thus far. I like a lot of things. There are definitely some brushes in here that the actual type of brush I definitely think is something that I could get use out of, because it is very reminiscent to a brush type that I'm already using currently in my rotation or enjoying, or a shape that, you know, I want to kind of investigate. Although really at this point in my makeup journey, I feel like I've investigated all the types of shapes that you can really truly investigate, you know. So I really like some of these. I would pretty much pick up almost all of these except for 2. So she has one brush that is more angled. She has one brush that is more angled, very similar to this brush here from the Angie Hot and Flashy set, which is the A506. Although I can get use out of this, I generally will only reach for this when I am using a cream stick product for like priming or just for my actual eyeshadow. I don't do that technique a lot. Generally I will sometimes, but even then I will just use my finger. So it's not a brush style that I need a lot of, and I want to say I have at least 2 to 3 brushes in that type of shape, if not a shape that I can use for the same type of application. So I don't need that. And then I also see that she has a brush that she kind of dubs as a very good, I'm like talking and not applying, a very good highlighter brush. And although I definitely think that it probably is a good highlighter brush, I don't think I personally need to bring it in, for the sheer fact that I have a lot of brushes that are very similar. I'm like running out of brushes to use because I'm too lazy to clean my brushes. But I have a lot of brushes that are very similar to that. I would say easily, again, 3 or 4, because I have like at least 3 of the same brush from CXC Beauty, and then I have some other brands that have a very similar shape as well. Don't get me wrong, that is definitely my favorite kind of highlighter brush shape. But once again, I have a lot, and I am trying to be very critical on what I'm bringing in when it comes to makeup and beauty wise. Just financially, I want to do better, like with the quantity of money that I'm using towards this category of my life. And there will be a video coming up later on during Swagmas discussing that, and just discussing my plans in regards to how I hopefully will kind of navigate that successfully for myself. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing really terrible about this collection. I actually really like a lot of things about this collection. I just don't need them all. But what I am going to do is I am going to actually wait. I know that she's doing a restock on her eye brushes, and there's 1 or 2 eye brushes that I actually want like a couple more. I only have 1 set, so I actually want a couple more of a particular 1 to 2 styles in that eye set. So I'm going to wait until that releases. That way I can just add it together and I will purchase it. But like I said, I will be taking into consideration my beauty budget that I am keeping myself to. I'm keeping myself to it in 2024 and actually starting this month. I've already really taken that into consideration with the things that I do purchase this month and the things that I have not purchased. And you know, it's been hard, but it's going to be good and better for me personally in the long run. And I'm just very excited to see kind of how successful I can be in that regard. So there is that. I am just going to use my LYS setting spray. I like this setting spray when I don't feel like I need to really meld my powders with my creams. I do have a couple of creams on right now, but it's not an overly powdery look. So we're going to use this one. To me, that really helps to keep my face pretty much the same kind of finish. Once it dries down, it doesn't end up looking really, really shiny or really, really matte. I am just really not about either kind of dramatic end of the spectrum. I really like the kind of skin like medium realm, and I feel like that setting spray really does well. This actually might be one of those setting sprays that I start to consistently purchase. And just for full disclosure, I am affiliated with that brand. But yeah, if you want to use an affiliated link that is down below, definitely check it out. Otherwise, no big deal. I just wanted you guys to know, full disclosure on that. And I'm pretty sure I bought that myself. There's only a handful of things that the brand has actually sent to me, and that is not one of them. Next post to talk about today is all about perfumes. There are quite a few perfume launches that are coming up now, just because we're in the thick of winter. So brands are really going to be starting to release their spring and summer scents. It's just kind of how the cookie crumbles on that particular industry. So we have Nest coming out with a lychee rose perfume. This one has notes of rose absolute, lychee, effervescent pink, and champagne. Then Dead Cool is coming out with a Sunlit Bloom perfume, and this one has keynotes of orange blossom, white florals, salty vanilla. Then we have Maison Margiela, which has finally launched their tomato or from the garden perfume, which has tomato leaf accord, green mandarin essence, and patchouli heart. Tom Ford has re-released their Vanilla Sex perfume, which has notes of vanilla tincture, vanilla absolute, and sandalwood. And lastly, but certainly not least, Clean has released about 6 different perfumes, all very much variations of the same thing. They're all in kind of an H2O or water collection. So the first one is Water Lotus, which has notes of water lily, maggot, and musk. They have a Brilliant Peony perfume that has notes of peony, magnolia, and musk. They have a Musk Nior perfume that has fresh citrus and fruit. No. The scents are mandarin, orange blossom, and musk. Then they have a Nectarine Petal perfume that has the notes of nectarine, peach blossom, and musk. They have a fresh citrus and fruits perfume. That's not the name of the perfume. I keep mixing this stuff up. The name of the perfume is the Watermelon Eau de Parfum, Waterfall Eau de Parfum, which has notes of aquatic accord, apple blossom, and vetiver. And then the last perfume is Golden Citrus, which has notes of mandarin, orange blossom, and musk. Whew, that was a lot. So let's kind of go back and kind of go through my thought process on these. I've never found a Nest perfume that really works for me, and that's generally because they're so light. Very, very light. I think they are the perfect brand if you were somebody who works in like the healthcare industry. I had somebody in my family who, while working in the healthcare industry, had a perfume in the range that worked best for them. They loved it. It kind of worked for anybody that was around them that was very sensitive to perfumes. They didn't really seem to voice any issues with that as well. So overall, just the vibes of the perfumes coming from Nest just aren't my alley. I definitely want to, at minimum, I be able to spell my scent. I would love if other people could, just because, I don't know, I just enjoy it, but it's not like a dead or kind of a no-brainer that if my perfume is not smelled by others, I can't pick it up. It's just one of those things that I enjoy. I think that sometimes it can be a really good kind of way to start a conversation with somebody in a spot where you need a conversation starter. Dead Cool, I do have one perfume from them, although it's not one that like I think it was like a live or die. It was just one of those things where it was on sale. I enjoyed the scent. I had had it in my loves list for a while, and I decided to pull the trigger type situation. So I don't think I really am going to push. I don't think I'm going to really push to get my nose on this one. The Maison Margiela, the likelihood of me going into a Sephora store is very, very small. So to get my nose on this prior to picking it up, it's very, very unlikely. So I'm just going to chill and not pick that one up either. Tom Ford, at this point, their scents are just not justified by the price range. They keep hiking up their prices for their perfumes, and for me, it's just not worth it. It really isn't for me. Everybody has their own opinion and their own perspective on that, but for me, it's just not worth it, and I'm just not going to press it. As for the Clean Reserves, there are some that sound really interesting, but I think I'm good. I think I kind of have my perfect clean scent, which is their skin scent. But if they have like one of these in like the Sephora sampler sets coming up maybe at the end of 2024, I could definitely see me picking it up just to get my nose on it. The only reason I didn't pick one up this year was because there was no true like scent that I really, really wanted to smell, and knew that if I didn't like that one, I had like a backup. There was just no set like that for me. Anyways, like I said, not for me, but we'll see. Maybe something will be for me later on after I've gotten my nose on it. Makeup Revolution is coming out with some highlighters that do very much look like the Diamond Bombs from Fenty Beauty. This has a range of looks to be like maybe 4 or 5 different colors. They are $10 each. I think these are fine. I had 2 of the Diamond Bombs. I actually ended up giving away or decluttering the more golden one. I just didn't like it on my skin tone. I felt like it just did not work for me. Whereas I really enjoy the more icy one, actually, the actual Diamond Bomb, the white based one. I really like that one. So it's very, very interesting how these things happen. But yeah, that's the one that I gravitate to. I like that one. I'm going to continue to keep that one. No need for me to personally pick up anything else that's very reminiscent or kind of duping it in any sort of way from Makeup Revolution. So just like yesterday, I'm going to play with the, let me see if I can figure out how to say the name of this, the Tourmaline palette from Wayne Goss. I already did one look and I actually really liked it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and more or less replicate it. So Simply Posh Cosmetics is coming out with a new version of kind of a Northern Lights themed palette. This time they're calling this palette the Aurora Lights. Last time they called it the Northern Lights. And this is a really pretty palette. So this one is 18 shades where you have 12 mattes and 6 intense shimmers all throughout that more like middle row. And then of course you get all the mattes in the top and the bottom rows. I actually really like this palette. I think it's really pretty, but it's not something that I feel for me I have to pick up because I would like not be able to live without. And I think at this point for me with eyeshadow palettes, and especially with trying new brands, it's really gonna have to come to that. Otherwise, I really can't justify it. And you guys will see in my declutter, whenever I get to filming those, I have, you know, a nice healthy collection. And so I really need to start to be critical on what is truly necessary and what is truly going to bring value to my collection. Yes, I'm interested. I'm always interested in trying a new brand, a new formula, a new texture, a new that. But what is truly going to bring value to my collection, and how am I going to see that value reciprocated? And lastly, but certainly not least, how often am I going to use that product? This palette, although pretty and although I can definitely see looks easily with it, with the way that I'm using makeup, specifically eyeshadow right now, I don't know how often I'm going to use this palette. And that's really the thing for me that is stopping me. I just don't see the consistency from me to be able to justify this palette. And I also feel like their palettes prices aren't that bad. This one is $45, but still, I just don't see the necessity for me personally to have this. And so for that reason, I'm gonna skip, but I hear great things about the brand. I've not seen anybody of a darker skin tone review this brand. I'm sure there is somebody. I just personally haven't seen anybody. So I can't kind of state whether I've seen people of a darker skin kind of giving it a thumbs up, but I definitely have seen plenty of people really loving the brand. And I would love to hear, if you do have a darker skin, whether you enjoy this brand's formula. And if you do, give me a brand that you recommend it, or you state it has a similar formula to. I always love hearing that. And I know I'm not saying they have to be dupes or anything, but I would love to just hear what brand you think the formula is comparable to, if you think the brand's formula is comparable to anybody. We are going to talk about the Bratz collection with Crash Beauty. Once again, another brand I have never heard of before, but this brand is doing this collaboration with Bratz. I'm not very attached to Bratz at all, so this is definitely not an IP that's going to get me for that. And for that reason, this collection is going to be another easy pass for me. I just don't find any real attachment to it personally. I definitely know people who are like really into dolls back in the day and Bratz in the day as well. Just not something for me. And they do have a variety of items, which I'm sure is cute and can be collectible for the right person. I'm just not their target audience at all. Like at all. Just, it's not me. Something coming from vacation is this Chardonnay lip. I think this is a lip oil. Yeah, it's a lip oil. I find this very interesting. So this one is supposed to have grapeseed and, like I said, the Chardonnay. It's $16. I'm sure it's going to be available at Ulta soon. And yeah, I'll be excited and interested to hear people's opinions. I was considering doing kind of a guide, if you will, on lip oils. Would you be interested in kind of seeing that from me? I have quite the range, and I feel like I am very good at being able to tell the difference between a lip oil and a lip gloss. And I feel like at this point, there is a very distinct difference, and some people don't make that distinction. And so for me, when I go to get something on somebody's recommendation and sis is a lip gloss, not a lip oil, sometimes I can be a bit annoyed, you know? So definitely let me know if you would be interested in hearing my opinions on, like, not only the best, but also, even though they're labeled one thing, if they're actually that thing or if there's something else completely. So definitely let me know down below. As for this, I think this is cute. Maybe if I make an Ulta order, which I've been really good. I couldn't even tell you the last time I made an Ulta order. Maybe I will pick this up, but the likelihood that this is going to be kind of a necessity, once again, in this mindset there that I have a very firm budget when it comes to beauty, I don't know. I don't know. Continuing to move forward, Milani is coming out with some bronzers, and I've seen a lot of people like really excited for these. I don't know if it's because of the fact that Milani is one of those like higher end drugstore brands that like people really think do good quality products. I don't have a lot of experience with the brand other than like at the very beginning of my makeup journey. And to be honest, I don't really hold any of those experiences to heart, seeing as I was a newbie. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be looking for. And, you know, there's just a lot of variables that I can't really trust of my own opinions at that point. Now, if I were to try Milani, I would definitely trust my opinions because I know how I like my makeup to work. I know how makeup should work, all of that jazz. As for these products, I think that there is a decent range there. At the same time, though, based on the swatches, would say that I need the darkest shade. So is this a great range? No. I understand this is drugstore, but I definitely think that we can be past the only 4 shades for a bronzer range, even at the drugstore in this ripe age of 2023. So for me, this is gonna be a pass. I will be keen to hear opinions from those who are very excited to get this and have already picked it up. But for me, it's gonna be the L on this because I'm just truly, there's nothing other than to say that I'm just not interested. I'm just honestly not. Some more things coming out from Benefit. So Benefit is coming out with it's like a lash goop, a Whoop lash eyeshadow. Wow. Let me try that again. A Whoop lash eyelash serum product. Basically, this is supposed to be an eyelash serum, as you could suggest by the name. I think that this looks fine. Not something that I know, even if I do pick it up, that I'm gonna get a whole lot of use out of. Just not my bread and butter, honestly. I would literally pick it up and just, it would sit, or I try to remember, and I wouldn't use it consistently, so I wouldn't ever be able to tell like, oh yes, this is actually a good product. No, I think it's a good product or a bad product, but I couldn't really tell you why because I'm not using it consistently. So just not something for me to spend my money on. I'm just going to keep my money for once again and enjoy what I already have, which is no serums because I don't use serums in this context. I'll use them like on my face, like day and night. But at this point, I've done so well at like getting my skin where it is. Even when I skip days here and there, it's not as big of a deal on my skin as it was at the beginning, just because my skin is in such a better place. Something coming out from CXC Beauty is actually a 15 pan eyeshadow palette that is a transition for summer to fall. I believe this brand must be located in the southern hemisphere if they're coming out with a palette right now for summer to fall, because we're actually going into winter now. Or maybe they're in the same hemisphere. They just released this a tinge bit later than I personally was expecting for that type of transition. Either way, I think the palette actually looks really pretty. It does look like shimmers though. I don't see any like multi-chromes or any really crazy metallics, anything like that. So in this market right now, I don't really know. Well, I do know who this is for because it's definitely for somebody, just like these Wayne Goss eyeshadow palettes are for somebody, right? So he makes his products really tangentially. He makes his products for kind of an older age bracket where your eyes just can't handle certain types of textures of eyeshadow. And don't get me wrong, I actually think that these eyeshadows applied beautifully, and I think in the right context, a good satin as the shade that I actually have in my crease can really work for anybody. And I don't really like satins, but I think that this one really has done a great job with being blendable as well as just being opaque and stuff. So I definitely like the satin that I received here. Oh my goodness, why am I having so much difficulty with this lash? I did not have this much difficulty yesterday. Let's see if there's enough glue. So yeah, I definitely think that there's a market for this. I just don't think, once again, that I am the market for it. For me to really pick anything up from them, I just would feel, I don't know. I don't want to say like, for certain brands that I've never tried before, this is the type of context that I'm trying to say. I need something exciting, astounding, whatever, to really feel like I should pick anything up. But then we get brands like Wayne Goss, which I have bought from him previously. I bought from his makeup collection and then also from his brushes. I've really been a huge fan of his brushes for years now. And so that's why I was able to kind of justify getting more products from him, because I was able to just expand my knowledge on the brand. And yes, this tourmaline palette in the grand scheme of things is not like super, super exciting. Although I will say this shade that I haven't used, even though 2 times that I've used it, it actually does look nice and sparkly. And I think that could be a shade to add more kind of texture to an overall look. The overall aesthetic and vibe of Wayne Goss eyeshadows, in my opinion, is more kind of casual glam type situation. Very similar to this palette. But for me, this palette is screaming like a Sydney Grace. And for that, I can just go to Sydney Grace, which I love their quality. I think their quality is great. It has been some time since I've bought a palette from them. But once again, that's because I feel like I have like 3 or 4 palettes. And at that point, you pretty much have all of their color schemes and all of that jazz. So that's why I'm not going to be picking up from this brand. I hope that was clear. I feel like it wasn't, but it's me. So I completely understand if it was not. Covergirl is coming out with a new complexion product. It only has 8 shades, which is abysmal. They're also coming out with some brow products. The complexion product is a Skin Perfector Essence Foundation that has the micro droplet technology. Like I said, 8 shades for $21.49. Then they also have a brow filter, which is a pomade brow pencil. Once again, $21.49 for a drugstore foundation. I don't care how much technology is in that baby. Absolutely not. So that is an easy pass. On top of the fact that there's only 8 shades. It's interesting that they have Queen Latifah's face on the like. This is just personally not for me. Like, there's absolutely nothing in this for me. I am intrigued by the concept of the brow pencil product that's supposed to have a pomade in it. That sounds interesting. That sounds unique, new, inventive, very similar to my video that I did at the beginning of Swagmas, talking about products that I find are actually unique and innovative in this field. So yeah, maybe I'll look into that. I also do have a lot of brow products just on reserve, so I don't really need that, but that would be the one thing out of this kind of post that I would potentially look into. Something that I definitely want to pick up. I meant to pick it up yesterday, but I was so frazzled with the fact that my mic was not working and all of this and all of that. So anyways, this is from Salt Air. I feel like this is the brand. Aren't they available at Sephora? I've seen them somewhere. Or is this? No, they're available at Target. They're available at Target. Let me just see, because curiosity now has got me. I'm curious if this product is available. So Salt Air has some body care and stuff like that. And they are now coming out with lip oils themselves, and I'm just curious. So currently, at least on the Target app, I do not see, unfortunately, I don't see their lip oils, but basically these are lip oil balms. I really like these. I'm gonna be picking up 3 shades. Like I said, I already plan to do a video. Ooh, but I pick up 3 shades. Is that gonna be in budget? I'm going to pick it up and my budget is just going to shrink drastically. So this is going to be a very interesting experiment for the time period that I hope to do it. Anyways, I really want to pick up these shades. I'm going to be picking them up. I haven't been able to pick up the road and this and that. So we're going to do that. And yeah, look forward to my review. Like I said, I plan to do that video. And as long as you guys aren't hating that idea, hopefully I can actually get that video up this month. Just for the sheer fact that I use lip balms literally like multiple times a day. So it's very quick and easy to kind of get my opinions and my review on that product. What's Up Beauty is actually coming out with 2 eyeshadow duos, which to me actually look a little bit more like blush highlighter duos, but they're not. They're definitely for your eyes. And I think these are fine. I think these are really cute. For me, I think this is definitely for the person that loves What's Up Beauty and already really likes their formula, already really likes the brand, wants to continue to support the brand. I don't think this type of product is really meant for those people like me who's never tried the brand. If I were to try this brand, it would definitely be more for their 12 pan eyeshadow palettes. Just hasn't been one that's perfect at the time when I'm fixing to buy another eyeshadow palette. So that's really why the cookie hasn't crumbled on me reviewing the brand. But I hear great things. Once again, not particularly from people who review indie makeup that are of a darker skin tone, but I honestly, once again, don't see a lot of people of a darker skin tone, at least on my feed, reviewing strictly independently owned makeup. If you have some that you would recommend, please comment them down below. I will definitely subscribe because I need to support my queens that have a similar interest to me. And also, I love for them to review things for me sometimes and not me reviewing everything, I feel like, for everybody else. Marc Jacobs is coming out with their latest fragrance range. They usually come out with a fragrance range right around the spring, summer kind of drop releases. So they always do one for each of their lines in their range for their scents. So they have one for the fresh scent, the love pop scent, and then just the normal kind of basic pop scent. So these are all around Daisy, of course. And the first one is a floral fruity scent that has fresh lemon, pear, and lime, and has the essence of rose with some raspberry and some violet. The Love Pop, which is the range that I typically reach for, is the woody gourmand, and it has aromas of cloudberry, bergamot, green pistachio, and chantilly cream. And then we have just the normal pop, which has a floral citrus kind of scent family, which has sparkling grapefruit, yuzu, violet leaf, hints of jasmine, kumquat, floral violet, and an earthy musk. Once again, I definitely think that the scent notes on that Love Pop really do sound more up my alley than any of the other two. That said, I've never been through any of my Marc Jacobs scents, and I wouldn't want like the sizes that they release. I'd want a really small bottle. They don't seem to release those as consistently as they did. I'm not spending $101 on one perfume anymore because of my budget. So this is going to be a pass for me, but I definitely am going to go ahead and try and smell this perfume. Maybe I'll get decants. That is definitely a route that I feel like I have not really taken into consideration. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, so we'll see how that goes. And moving forward, Rare Beauty has now showcased that she is coming out with a body care line. I think this is going to be very, very popular, at minimum right on launch. So definitely stay tuned and pay attention to the launch dates. So really quickly, it will be launching December 8th at Sephora and December 26th globally. So I'm assuming also on the website. I feel like you should be able to find this maybe on the brand's website right around the 18th though. So definitely stay tuned. You can get a body and hair fragrance mist for $28 with the scent notes of top, lemon zest, rhubarb, and pomelo, mid, jasmine petals, violet, and black tea extract, and then dry vetiver, tonka bean, and jasmine or cashmere wood. Then you have the body lotion, which is $28. They don't say any scent notes, so maybe it's fragrance free. It doesn't actually state that though. So my brain is thinking it's probably the same scent as the mist personally. Then you have a hand cream, which is $18. Once again, it doesn't specify specifically that it is fragrance free, so I'm thinking it's a similar, if not the same scent notes as the mist. And then last, there is a Find Comfort Stop and Soothe Aromatherapy Pen for $20. And this is supposed to be something that is fast absorbing gel that soothes the peppermint and lavender scent to help de-stress and decompress. So for me, out of all of these products, I definitely understand why they're coming out. There are definitely people who use those pens to kind of get rid of migraines, or even like if they're cramping up, not even cramping up, if they just have like kinks in their neck and stuff because of how they've been sitting during work or whatever have you. Stuff like this actually works in that case, depending. I don't really use them, but I've heard people say that they actually work. The hand cream is something that I would put in a cart easily, especially if I'm making a Sephora order. I love hand creams. I love to review them. I feel like my hands are always ashy and dry. So just getting a lot of hand creams in my collection and just having my hands on them is really, really nice. I do tend to pick them up at Bath & Body Works for free because they just have reward system that I just will use those, but definitely something that I wouldn't mind picking up a hand cream. The body lotion, I think I'm gonna pass. I have quite a bit of lotions. You guys have recently seen my body care collection. Feel like I'm good on that. And then when it comes to the mist, I have a lot of scents. I'm trying to really be good. You guys really won't be seeing a lot of purchasing from me when it comes to Bath and Body Works, just because I have so much. But I definitely want to share my knowledge for like the SAS that's coming up. So SAS is coming up December 26th. So I will definitely kind of be doing a top 5, top 10, something like that for the scents for Bath and Body Works, so that you guys can be prepared if we have similar interests and knows on like what we like for scents. But overall, I think this is a nice little range. I like the packaging, although the packaging of the hand cream, which is the triangle, I really don't like. But you know, beggars can't be choosers. So I think it's nice. Not something that I need, but I will potentially pick up a thing or two. Another thing that I definitely will not be picking up is from About Face, which is a brand that I actually do enjoy, but these are glitters. These are their glitter dust. They have a range of 5. I actually like the colors of quite a few of these, and I was actually considering these, but then I thought about it. I'm like, Blake, when was the last time you used a glitter? Years. And even then when I used them, it was for like 1 or 2 looks, and then I put the glitters right back. So definitely not something that I need to be picking up at all. It is only $16. So in the event that you get a lot of use out of glitters, or you just really interested in trying some glitters, definitely something that I could see potentially trying. Something that I'm actually not thinking of trying for my potential like lip oil, lip balm video is this from Essence. This is the Juicy Balm. Just not something that I'm interested in. Once again, I feel like it really has to be groundbreaking for me to really want to try a drugstore product. And this is just not it. I don't find the packaging cute. I don't find anything about this cute. And so it's just one of those things that I can easily pass. Now, I just got a notification from is that? I'm sorry. This is Bridgerton. I apologize. I'm just going to pin this and I will get back to this because I've become a Bridgerton fan. I must confess. I have become a Bridgerton fan. But anyways, there are new things that just crossed my notifications. Okay, the perfumes are coming and they are coming in hot. So 2 more perfumes and then we will wrap this video up. So it looks like Valentino is coming out with a Born in Roma green Stravaganza perfume. So the overall kind of aesthetic is the floral amber fragrance with woody notes, which originates in sumptuous gardens in Rome. Ooh, that sounds like one I would like. That really sounds, oh. This is going to be available January and February, that type of time range. We don't really know the specifics on the scent notes or anything like that, but the description does sound like something that I would enjoy. So hopefully it's something that I won't enjoy, or maybe there's a travel size that I can really get some use out of, but it does sound good. Another one that does look very intriguing. YSL is coming out with another perfume in the Black Opium range, and this time it is cherry scented. Ooh, so this is the Black Opium Eau de Parfum over red. So the top notes are cherry, green, mandarin essence. Heart notes are wow. The heart notes are Moroccan jasmine with auric gardens, orange blossom absolute, and black tea. The base is coffee, in Indonesian patchouli heart, and Madagascar vanilla. That sounds really, really good. But if we're being honest, I think what I'm going to do is just take my original Black Opium, throw in, I think I might have a travel size of the Kayali Vanilla 28, and then throw right on top either my vanilla burning cherry or my Tom Ford cherry scent, and just make my own version of this. And I think that's kind of what I'm going to hope to do in the future, to just curb my diet on purchasing everything instead of just being inspired by the perfumes and trying to find really great combinations with things that I already have. So that's it for today. I really don't have much else to say. Like I said, I'm really trying to do better with my purchasing habits and just overall my consumption habits. And I think at least my talking, I'm doing better talking and not necessarily saying I'm buying this, but saying I don't need this. I can work around with my collection to get this. I can combine some scents to get that. You know what I mean? That's my goal. As for my makeup, I really actually do like it today. I think it came out really, really nice. Hopefully the lighting wasn't too bad. I'm still working on my lighting setup in this new background, which I think is going to be somewhat permanent. I kind of like the new feng shui of this room, and I just feel like this is a really good spot for me to be in when I'm filming. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check out down below. Once again, I will have all the items listed and linked down below, as well as, of course, my makeup in case you are interested. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.